Sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
Valoria goes left. Valoria flips it up and in!
So Orlan Mamar, but Mamar gets the step and the finish.
Hail Mary. June Manzo will fire.
Oh my goodness! June Manzo all the way from Serrano, Beguelo, Serrano with the basket. Fuentes, no hesitation, gets it to go! No! Obisto, yeah! Jason Obisto with the putback!
What has been the problem so far of Bulacan? Their main problem kung bakit di pa sila nananalo?
Well, you know, Bulacan coming into this one, 4 straight losses, and I think it's more about competing now. It's more about pride now for Bulacan because I think they have yet to show that. You know, much of that here in the early stages of their campaign. All losses are double digit. So, ang bigat niyan para dito sa Bulacan. So they need, you know, they need some sort of miracle now to really just turn things around, and it all starts with, you know, playing with pride and competing for every possession.
And that's going to be a very tall order here, especially because Zamboanga is looking to avenge their loss last week to Imus. Joining us as the third member of our broadcast panel is Ms. Sydney Crespo at courtside. We'll be hearing from her later on. Mapapanood nyo ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League on our Facebook and YouTube channels, as well as on Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays beginning at 6 o'clock p.m. Let's take a look at our last game day results that happened yesterday at Batangas City. So Delphi covered these games.
Yeah, well, Rizal, of course, very impressive. 160-77 victory over Sarangani. And Imos also very impressive in beating Quezon City. Imos now with back-to-back victories. They improved to 3-2. Batangas naman, you know, needing to stave off a late run by Basilan, but they were in control for much of this matchup. So Batangas bouncing back, Basilan, their woes continue dito sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino.
Now let's take a look at the team standings, beginning with the Southern Division, where Zamboanga is currently at 2-1 right now.
Oo, no, nakikita natin dyan. No? Zamboanga and Gensan, both with identical 2-1 records. They are behind Imos, Quezon, and Rizal. Rizal has looked very, very good, very, very sharp to
but just to lose at the very last moment, 79-81.
Oo, sayang to.
Starting at guard number 0, Michael Are. Also at guard number 24, Ichi Altamirano. Coming in at center number 1, James Una. Forward number 19, Edsel Rojas. And the other forward number 17, Abdul Sawat. The head coach for the Sikat is Bong Ramos. Assistant coaches Ian Valdez, Aileen Lebonio, Louis Bautista, and Carl Lanuza. Team consultant is Egay Macaraya. Team managers are Ram Ayraham and Alvin Muño. Team owners are TP Cao and Omar Chua.
Our starting five of this game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Bulacan will be going with Marlon Espiritu, Hailey Ajero, Joseph Celso, R.R. De Leon, Gino Jumauas, while Zamboanga will be parading Michael Are, Ichi Altamirano, James Una, Edsel Rojas, and Abdul Sawat. Maraming salamat mga kaibigan sa pagdalo sa aming coverage for our Thursday triple header here at the Binyan Lotte Sports Arena in Binyan, Laguna. Zamboanga versus Bulacan for this first game of our Thursday triple header. Javi Palanya joined by Sadelf Tupas and Miss Sydney Crespo. Sawat getting that first attempt for Zamboanga. Rojas couldn't get the offensive rebound.
Well, change for the starting lineup dito para sa Zamboanga. Only Ichi Altamirano was starting para sa kanila from the previous game. So agad-agad na pagpalit ni Coach Bong Ramos. Marlon Espiritu though opening the scoring in this ball game with a three-pointer.
Well, talking about Ichi Altamirano, Sadelfi already mentioned him. Nasabi niya, just as he was called for the starters, dito siya napilay.
Yeah, right at that spot kung saan siya dumaan. So hopefully the memories, it will be better memories para dito kay Ichi Altamirano for today's game. We covered that game last year.
Yes,
right?
correct.
So mabigat yung nangyari doon.
We're happy to be seeing him already back in full strength.
Early sub here. James Sena comes in para kay James Una.
Edsel Rojas at the line for 2 shots. I wonder why maaga yung naging substitution dun. Not even a minute has gone by here in the game. One for 2 para kay John Edsel Rojas. Sawat couldn't get the offensive rebound. Espiritu, currently the only scorer right now for the Bulacan Cuyas.
Bulacan usually they start out well, and it's officially is this the first wedgie of the season?
I think so, yeah.
So they do start out pretty well, especially sa first game nila, no? But except that really solid first half of the season, of the first game of the season, it hasn't quite panned out para dito sa Bulacan.
And this is not a team that has only new players. Maraming veterano dito sa Bulacan, Kuyas.
Yeah, and we can count RR De Leon, who's a very capable scorer. There's RR. Yun, kitang-kita yung skill set ni RR De Leon on that drive.
Right on cue there, getting the basket and one. RR De Leon coming out of the University of the East. Going up against a fellow Red Warrior alum in Abdul Sawat.
Good control there from RR De Leon. And I think he's going to be in better shape as the season continues here.
He once again top scored for the Kuyas in their game against the Ambra Weavers. 17 points in that game, 7 out of 17 from the field, but he did have 7 turnovers in that match. Altamirano from the outside, that one's long. Rebound goes to Sawat, no looks inside to Rojas. Then on the shot clock here for Zamboanga, Altamirano trying to go all the way. He's stripped cleanly by the Kuyas defense.
Good defense there from Bulacan. Quick hands on the driving Altamirano.
Ahead wide open, couldn't hit the shot. Celso recycles here for the Kuyas. Oh, that's a travel on RR De Leon.
Move this pivot foot before dribbling the basketball there, RR De Leon. And quickly apologizes to the bench.
Edsel Rojas hands it off to Ichi Altamirano. James Sena goes to Michael Are. Are back to James. Sena waiting for the play to develop. Abdul Sawat. Emergency pass. Michael Are from downtown. Yes, sir.
That's a great pass from Abdul Sawat. Made a decision right there, but hindi nakadikit ng depensa kay Michael Are. That's why he was able to get time and space to hit that three on the low left wing.
Talk to us, Adelph, about how this Zamboanga squad has really shown their chemistry early on this season.
Oh, and this is a nice group to have because, with the exception of Sena and Roy Sumang, halos magkakaedad itong kupunan na to. And they do have a lot of aspiring, players to want to move to the next level. And they have an opportunity and a platform here to prove their worth with Zamboanga as they respond with an 8-0 run in the last minute and a half here. So Zamboanga off and running in the first quarter.
Hey, John Edsel Ross, you talk about players who aspire to make it to the next level. This guy has really been showing out, whether it's starting or coming off the bench para sa Zamboanga Sikat. 9-6 right now for Zamboanga.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 50 si Manny. Kanipaya. Para sa 100% Pinas, 50 ka. 50 tayo, 50 si MB. Kahati mo si Manny.
Welcome back to the MPBL. Coach Egay is not looking for a go-to guy. Instead, he wants his guys to learn how to stay organized under pressure so they won't need a superstar. After playing well in the second and third quarter last game, ang tanong rin ni Coach Egay, anong nangyari sa fourth quarter? For him, it showed their lack in character. He admits malaking challenge ito, especially repping a fan favorite Zamboanga this season. He says the burden shouldn't be on Roy or James to make this team work. Kailangan lahat may killer instinct. Everybody should be held accountable and be able to step up on crunch time. Your thoughts, Javi Sidel?
Maraming salamat, Sid. Well, we're seeing that right now so far early in the season para sa Zamboanga Sikat. Everybody really stepping up to the plate when given the opportunity. At ang gusto naman talaga dito ni Coach Bong at ni Coach Egay, si James, siya magbabantay sa mga big man at si Roy, siya naman ang nakatoka sa guards.
Oo, ang maganda lang dito din for Zamboanga is that roles are clearly defined here. And I think right now we're seeing a trend in the MPBL. Yung composition ng lineups, they don't have some big names. You know, although you can argue that Roy Sumang is a big name and nandito sa Zamboanga, but yun nga, you know, you see a lot of players who are very, very good role players. You know, on some teams that you can say are contenders in their respective divisions.
Take a look at this three-point shot brought to you by Extreme. One-stop shop appliances, three-pointer number 3 in this game for Zamboanga. This time it's Ichi Altamirano knocking it from beyond the arc.
Abdul Sawat making that decision again. He's got a couple of assists now. Itong si Abdul Sawat.
Michael Are has a couple of threes in this game. Goes to James Sena. Ball tapped from behind. Altamirano, another 3 on the way. This time it's long. Espiritu with the rebound. Looks ahead. Marte Hill pumasok na dito. Artaquino rin. And Artaquino gets a free lane to the hoop.
Bulacan, kung titingnan mo, they're not as deep as the other teams, but they do have the pieces there to create a few problems.
It's just a matter of competing, sabi mo nga, and also having that pride playing on the floor.
Well, hindi naman, you know, it's not ideal. You know, you go home, you know, and you know, think about and contemplate about your result. You can't be losing by 20 or 30 every time you step on the floor in an MPBL game. So sana, you know, Bulacan's fortunes and they play with a bit more urgency as the tournament progresses.
Zamboanga with the basketball. They're up by 4. Marte Hill pressuring Ichi Altamirano. Altamirano trying to drive past Jeb Bulawan. That's going to be a block. Laban sa Bulacan big man.
Foul on Jeb Bulawan there.
Take a look at this play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Good trail job there by Art Aquino.
Well, you talk about someone who can help this team play with a lot more pride. I think Art Aquino is the man for the job.
Yeah, but I think also itong Bulacan, it's not their. I don't think their offense is a problem. I think their defense is really the more pressing concern para sa kanila.
Which is exactly where pride really comes into play. When you talk about defense, that's all pride and all commitment.
Oh, ang worry ko kasi is that they don't have the toughness and tenacity which can actually, you know, help you rack up victories. Sure, you have a shot maker or a bucket getter like a J.R. Sumido, but you know, the key here really is, can you shut down teams, or can you know, shut down the stars of this league?
Yeah, and Bulacan has let their opponents score more than 100 points, I think a couple of times already this season.
No, tatlo na yata. They gave up 100 plus against the Cowboys, and also in their first game against Quezon City.
Abdul Sawat steps on the line.
I think against Pangasinan, they also gave up more than 100. No, I don't think so.
Let me double check that.
Hindi, yung Pangasinan, hindi. So, but 3 of their 4 losses, triple digits ang kalaban nila.
They lost to Quezon City by 20, 80-100.
And this was a game, the Quezon City game, it was a tied game at the break, 41-all.
Imagine that. And they let Quezon City score 60 after that, sila 40.
Oh, biglang, you know, that was their best half of basketball. I thought, medyo promising itong Bulacan, the way their squad is made up as Roy Sumang comes up with a steal against his former teammate, si J.R. Sumido.
JP Kawilan could not hit from downtown. Artaquino now pushing. Bulacan doesn't have numbers, but Aquino will take it anyway. Left-hand finish at the cup.
Ganda ang pasok dito ni Artaquino, providing that energy.
And he's helping Bulacan keep their heads above water here. Hindi makalayo-layo ang Zamboanga dito. Sumang kicks it out. James Una doesn't settle for the shot. There's another bump against Jeb Bulacan. Pangalawa na yan.
And Jeb Bulacan not moving his feet there. Rather, using his hip para stop and drive. But ito naman, speaking of stop, hindi ma-stop ito si Art Aquino on the way up.
He's like a madman on the fast break if you don't stop him. Sumang looks at the clock. It's down to 5. Jason Credo behind the line. That's another 3-point shot para sa Zamboanga.
Zamboanga coming out on fire dito sa laro natin. That's 3-pointer number 4 para sa kanila.
Ito na ang kalamangan dito ng sikat. Babalik dito si RR De Leon for Jeb Bulacan, who already has 2 personal fouls in this game. Another great kick out to an open shooter. That's Jason Credo para sa Zamboanga. Aquino, who's had 2 scores in transition here for the Cuyas, goes to JR Sumido. RR De Leon fades away. That's no good. Rebound taken by Marte Hill. Almost a wayward pass. Art Aquino gets into the lane, kicks it out. Sumido, catch and fire, knocks it down.
And JR Sumido, to talk about sharpshooters in the MPBL, count him in there because he is an absolute dead shot. Lalo na sa tres pag nalibre.
Kawilan kicks back out to Roy Sumang. 2-man game between him and JP. That's no good for Sumang. Aquino goes to De Leon, sidestep, bumps into Credo, wala. Ken Osicos battling for that rebound with James Una.
Looks like a loose ball foul. And, Arthur Calisay.
It's going to stay with the Cuyas. Minute to 33 remaining here in the first quarter. I'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Thank you for our beautiful uniforms. De Leon fades away. This time it's good.
And you see the ability to make shots even under duress. Yun yung kakayahan ng Bulacan. But on the other side, Marty Hill had his hand down.
Ang kakayahan naman ng Zamboanga is to have a flurry of threes quickly. Already with 5 here in the first quarter. Osicos was blocked there by Una. Gets 3 orange shirts up in the air but still could not finish.
Terrific effort there from Zamboanga.
Credo, the kick out. JP Kawilan, that's a lot of time and space. Rattles home another 3. Zamboanga Sikat is absolutely sizzling from downtown here in the first.
And what a show of firepower from Zamboanga here early on. And the thing is, they're finding the open man. And, even the closeout, hindi ganun ka bilis at ganun ka kaganda para dito sa Bulacan. Kaya natitirahan talaga sila ng Zamboanga.
Check it out here. Credo going to JP Kawilan. Had a lot of time to lock and load there. The former NU Bulldog.
It's poor transition defense, really, from the Bulacan Cuyas. 6 of 10 from beyond the arc para sa Zamboanga. 2 of 4 for Bulacan.
Well, if you think about it, looking at the numbers shooting-wise, you would think that Zamboanga would already be up by a significant margin. But the lead is only 8 at this point, 23-15. 34.7 seconds to go here in the opening frame. A chance to get it into double digits right now. Credo, another 3-point shot, and he's feeling it as well.
Wow, 7 3-pointers para the Zamboanga Sikat. They have taken the 1 less shot than Bulacan, but they have a 10-point lead. How good is that?
Only 5 attempts from inside the arc and 11 from outside the 3-point line. It's a foul laban sa Zamboanga. 7.3 seconds remaining here in quarter number 1. 11 ang hinahabol dito ng Bulacan. Aquino, Osicos, Hill, De Leon, and J.R. Sumido, the 5 on the floor here for the Cuyas. De Leon flashes middle, receives the pass, and knocks it down.
R. De Leon, I tell you, shot making isn't a problem for Bulacan. It's the work on the defensive end that is really their Waterloo.
Oho!
Sobra na yon. Uuwi na ako. Kung pumasok pa yon.
Grabe na yun, ang tindi ng shooting ng Zamboanga here in the opening quarter. Total of 7 3-point shots. This all started with Michael Are. He had 2 to begin this game and everybody else followed suit. Itchy Altamirano joined in on the party as well. And it really helped keep Bulacan at bay despite the entry of Art Aquino into this one. Jason Credo came in late into that quarter and knocked down a couple of 3-pointers himself. Zamboanga Sikat up 26-17 after the first 10.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Roy Sumang in their game against the Imus Brotherhood had 11 points, 3 rebounds, couple of assists, couple of steals on 4 out of 10 shooting.
Well, Roy Sumang, this team needed a veteran presence, no? When, especially dito sa composition ng lineup na to, no? Medyo bata itong lineup ni Coach Bong Ramos and Coach Egay, and kailangan mo ng leadership dito sa team na to. But Roy Sumang, alam natin yung kapasidad niya to take charge and put points on the board. Just a little worried there with the assist tally. Only 2. And
Yeah.
gusto ko marinig ni Roy Sumang yan.
Well, I've been talking to Coach Mike Perez about how Roy Sumang
Coach
is...
Mike?
Yeah. By the way,
Coach Mike?
belated happy birthday to Coach Mike Perez.
Coach Mike, did you just mention Coach Mike?
Yeah,
because
I did mention Coach
I
Mike.
think he lives near here.
Oo nga, parang ang lapit nga lang
Oh,
dito eh.
but,
Laguna area rin siya eh.
Oh, kaya I expect him here later.
Yeah, I think we might see him here later.
Oh, baka may dalang food because
Baka,
birthday
baka.
niya naman.
Oo.
Hindi naman sa sinasabi natin na i-blow out
Hindi, baka
niya
lang
tayo.
naman. We're just bringing up the possibility of it.
Wala naman.
No pressure.
Kasi yung prod, mais na lang yung kinakain.
Yun na nga eh.
Mais yung kinakain, no?
Baka magustuhan nila kumain ng pizza or barbecue. Di ko
Pero
alam.
I'm not saying lang because the corn here is
Oh yeah.
absolutely good. And lumalapit nga si Val, baka bigyan ako ng corn ngayon, ha?
Well, the action here from Zamboanga really can make us eat a lot of snacks. Zamboanga has been firing away from the outside in this game. Bulacan has been struggling. Paul Turco this time scoring inside. Rare 2-pointer for Zamboanga in this game. Marlo Espiritu at the point guard spot here for the Cuyas. Aquino flares out to the left side. Aquino out to Sumido. JR for 3.
And here's what happened. What happens when Bulacan is firing blanks and they can't stop the other team from scoring.
Yeah,
Diyan na lumalayo because hindi na sila nakakasabay kasi lumalabas na rin yung pangil ng depensa dito ng Zamboanga.
this is our assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Ang ganda ng assist, Roy Sumang. Ibang klase ka.
And nasabi mo kasi na you were worried with the assist count from the last game. So maybe he heard you. Alam mo, sometimes talaga I feel like when we talk about them during the coverage and they suddenly have a nice play, feeling ko naririnig nila tayo.
Oo. Tama. And, Roy Sumang has bounced around the MPBL in the last 3 years.
Oh, we're very fortunate to have a talent like Roy Sumang here dito sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino.
Masarap kakampi to. Si Roy Sumang, masarap kakampi to.
Back to my point earlier, I've been likening Roy Sumang's career right now to how Russell Westbrook has also been playing at this point of his career. Still a solid contributor, a guy that can still put up the numbers, but already a guy that you can lean on for veteran leadership. Sumido, odd-looking shot there from near the top of the circle. He misses. Haley Ajero leans in. Jumper no good. Celso saves it. Another possession here para sa Bulacan.
Good multiple efforts there from the Bulacan Kuyas.
Espiritu steps back for a three. That's short. Sumido almost got another offensive rebound.
But the quality of the shots that they've been getting, even though they got the offensive rebound, medyo disappointing. Kasi, you ended up settling for a step-back three-pointer na contested pa.
And they don't really seem to be running any offensive sets. Well, let's see here. Sumido gets the handoff. Sumido had a trouble with the basketball. And he's going to be called for steps.
And you know what, Javi, also, itong ang kwento dito for Bulacan. I think they're finding out, as the season has progressed, they're finding out the hard way of the level that's required now to win games here in the MPBL. Because it takes a lot now to win a game here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hindi na siya, you cannot just come to the gym with, players with a certain pedigree, big reputation, career that, a decorated career.
No.
Papasok ka dito, you think, you can easily get a W? No.
Hindi na to plug and play.
There are no easy games here now.
If people expect that this is still like Panalay level basketball, far from it. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. The level of play here has certainly increased through the years.
Sa Panalay, walang extreme.
Wala.
Di ba? But syempre, yun nga, there's a misconception that, when you go to this league, that, of course, it's, nakikita natin over the years that several ex-PBA players have made this league, made their way to this league, and made it a home, really. But at the same time, this has been a haven also of nurturing top-tier talent.
Tama ka dyan.
You got Justin Batasar, who I think could be a future MVP in the PBA, and he's our GOAT here. And you got guys like Adrian Nocom and Joner Clarito, who have shown that their time here in the MPBL really made them the player that they are right now dun sa PBA, sa kanilang kupunan.
Tama ka dyan, Sidelf. And I think a lot of Filipino basketball fans are already realizing na sarap talaga manood ng MPBL because of the culture that we're developing here. Regional basketball is really something that we have espoused from the start, and we're seeing it growing higher and higher as the years progress.
Maraming following mga kanya-kanyang teams natin. Imagine 30 teams this season. Wow.
And we're happy to have teams like Cebu and Basilan back in the fold. These teams, a lot of basketball pedigree dun sa kanilang mga franchise. Cebu, one of the hotbeds of basketball here in the country, while Basilan, a contender here in the league.
Cebu already pulling off one of the bigger upsets of the season, and they beat Caloocan.
Right in their opening game, so what a way to make a comeback.
Tapos, medyo mahirap din yung schedule nila. They did have Quezon, pero talo din sila sa Bataan, and syempre San Juan, former champion. So, The strength of the schedule also matters here early on. Pero sabi ni Christian Luancho sa akin, hindi daw nagpa-matter. First 10 games
ganun ba?
Lagi akong kinukontra ng taong yun.
He never agrees with you.
Oo, kaya ayoko
That's why
makasama.
it's always such a joy to watch games when you guys are covering.
Kaya ayoko makasama yun eh. Lagi akong kinukontra niya. Yung hindi niya lang ako kinukontra, pag nagsabi ako na sana may magpa-pizza kasi birthday. Hindi niya ako kontrahin doon. Coach Mike, di ba? Birthday kahapon, di ba? Parang,
Happy birthday again, Coach Mike.
Ganun lang yun eh.
Kung di ka naman niya kinokontra, pinapagtripan ka naman niya.
Oo.
Grabe naman, Coach Chris. Huwag naman ganun.
Kitang-kita eh. Alam mo, pag nakukuhanan, pag nag-wide shot.
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Grabe, magkasama kami trabaho kagabi. And then, the next day, magkasama tayo. Sinusumbong ko siya sa'yo. Ganun ang kwento. I didn't have Ton to defend me last night.
Oh, really?
Wala siya eh.
Naka-break ba si Ton?
Naka-break siya eh.
Dapat nandyan parati si Ton eh. Ang dakila natin tagapagbantay. That's out of bounds in favor of Zamboanga.
Si Tik, binantayan din ako eh.
Saan
pero walang nagawa.
Mahirap kalaban si Coach Christian Luanzon. Ang makakatalo lang kay Coach Chris si Boss Emer.
Oo naman. Pero, di bale, babawi tayo.
Rojas gets it inside against Art Aquino.
8 turnovers already for Bulacan, 4 for Zamboanga.
And yet, Sadelf, despite these numbers of Bulacan in this game, they're only down by 9 points.
Yeah, but the pattern developing in this first half, though, is quite alarming if you're Bulacan.
Yeah, this is something that you shouldn't take for granted. As you take a look at the numbers of Edsel Rojas from that game against the Imus Brotherhood, 9 of his 15 points coming in the fourth quarter. Very efficient from the field. 6 out of 9 para sa kanya. Undersized big man. But, Coach Egay and Coach Bong, they have given him a lot of opportunity to prove himself.
Well, palaban nitong si John Edsel Rojas. Always plays with a chip on his shoulder.
I see here very vocal on defense.
Miscommunication doon between Humao As and Bulawan. Pinasa sa tuhod eh.
There's going to be a timeout here for the Bulacan Cuyas. Coach Elgin Espina will sue for time here past the halfway point of the second quarter.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Coach Elgin Espina and the Bulacan Cuyas currently down by 11 points here, 32-21. Let's talk about J.R. Sumido in that game against the Abra Weavers. Second leading scorer para sa Bulacan in that game, 16 points, 6 out of 16 from the field.
Well, J.R. Sumido, one of the designated gunners really of the Bulacan Cuyas. You cannot say a lot about his offense because his offense is pretty much a top tier here in the MPBL, but it's more of the work on the defensive end that really, as a team, that Bulacan needs to work on, because all of the work of J.R. Sumido will go for naught if they don't play well on the other side of the floor.
After 7 threes in the first quarter alone, Choi Ignacio burying the first 3-point shot of Zamboanga here in the second quarter. And here it is, the 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Once again, Sidel, Abdul Sawat delivering the pass.
Well, I like how Abdul Sawat has really been moving that basketball and how he's been very, very decisive when he has the ball in his hands.
That's now 5 assists in the game for the former UE Red Warrior. And Coach Egay, Coach Bong has really put the ball in his hands a lot to start this season, to make those kinds of decisions. He's still scoreless in this game, by the way. Well, Michael Are knocking down another 3-point shot. He was the one who started the flurry of threes for Zamboanga, and he's also trying to get to start it now here in the second.
Well, it all starts with Abdul Sawat finding that ball inside to Rojas. Maganda dito for Zamboanga. You know, the Bulacan has really allowed Zamboanga to get very, very comfortable offensively. And
most of those threes that they had were open looks. Let's go courtside to Miss Sidney Crespo.
Hinihintay lang ng Bulacan na magbunga ang kanilang pagtsatsaga this season at hopefully makuha na ang kanilang unang panalo. After losing 4 straight games, sabi ni Coach Elgin na marami na silang inaayos sa Bulacan Kuyas ngayon tulad ng conditioning ng players for stamina, execution at gelling of the guys. Kwento nga niya that it still surprises him kung gaano kataas ang level of play dito sa MPBL, and he is honest to his players na kailangan trabahuhin yan. And if they want to start winning, hindi pwedeng sa practice lang daw ang connection ng players. They need to be able to translate this connection to wins. Javi Sidel?
That's a huge surprise to me, considering that the league has been around for quite some time already, and he has MPBL veterans in his roster.
It's a really grim reality check.
This is our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Finally, Abdul Sawat getting his first basket of the game.
Ang bigat na reality check yun, Javi.
Matindi talaga. Nagulat talaga ako doon.
And then also, yung conditioning, this is a pro league. You have to remember, this is a pro league. And, you know, there are requirements, okay, for you to compete at this level.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much skills your players have if they are not in good physical form.
We are already 3 weeks into the season.
Exactly. And they've already played 4 games.
Oo. Pero ako kasi mga 8 weeks ako yung conditioning ko.
Di mukhang condition ka naman ngayon So di pa pala condition yun, nakikita kong highlights.
Hindi. Medyo ano na lang
Ilang percent ba
I
yan?
play in spurts na lang.
Buti na lang, baka sinasabi mo ba yan kay Coach Christian? Baka matira ka na naman because of that, ha?
Hindi, kaya nga din dun sa liga na nilalaroan ko. Inaantay ko lang. Si Kaiser, inaantay ko. Boss Kaiser, inaantay ko na pag sabay kami, dun lang ako tumutodo.
Si Boss Kaiser pa naman, todo yan parati. Ang matindi dyan, si Boss Kaiser, hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa, hindi lang 3, parang 4 na liga ata sinasalihan nun ngayon.
Maraming liga yan. Mamaya magte-text
As
yan.
a player,
Oo, mamaya magte-text yan.
Kaya nga sabi ko sa kanya, baka pwede ka naman mag-playing team owner dyan sa Muntinlupa Cagers.
Oo, pwede. Actually.
Pwede, no? Pwede pa eh. May talaga may ibubuga pa eh. Minsan to may 30 pa yan eh. Oh, JP Kawilan definitely clipped on the arm there.
Poor one. Foul to give up.
Considering he already has 2 personal fouls, ito si Jeb Bulawan.
It's just a series of, number 1, poor decisions. And sometimes it's mind-boggling decisions.
Yes, sometimes decisions you don't expect to see at the professional level. We really hope that, these Kuyas start to realize and that they really need to exert more effort, not just in the physical aspect, but also in the mental game, and to be able to play better against the more seasoned squads here. Kawilan will be taking
just
only 2 shots.
Oh, baka foot on the line.
All right, so that was the official announcement galing kay Richard Campos. Kawilan currently with 3 points so far. He's averaging 5.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, and an assist per game so far in the 3 games for Zamboanga this season.
Now, JP Kawilan had his...
I think he sat out their 2nd game.
Had a really good stretch with Quezon City last season. hitting some big shots as Quezon City try to make that playoff push in the North Division na kinapos lang din sa dulo.
Ito si JP, high school pa lang to, problema na talaga to laban sa mga teams na kalaban niya. Nung high school, he formed a very dangerous combo with Hubert Cani in the NU Bullpups program.
At talaga?
Oh, pero buti na lang nag-champion naman kami nun.
Ang ganda ng setup. Ang ganda ng setup.
Nakaisa naman kami. Thankful to Jerry Pingoy, Joel Liu, and the rest of my teammates for giving us a championship.
Jerry Pingoy, ganda na nilalaro Hindi ako sure kay Joel Liu, pero si Jerry Pingoy.
Si Joel Liu, medyo...
Ganda na nilalaro ng Rizal.
Ng Rizal, oh. Si Joel Liu, yung shooting, medyo spotty pa eh. Binago na naman yung form eh.
Binago ba?
Oo eh. Ilang beses na nagbago ng form yan?
Talaga.
Gino Jamaas in trouble underneath.
Oh.
There's a foul
on James Una. I believe that was...
No.
Oh, no?
It's on Gino Jamaas.
Yeah, both teams already in penalty. This is great defense right here. But Gino Jamaas is no longer, that... he used to be very, very explosive.
Exactly, yeah. One of the more highly touted recruits coming out of high school when he was still with San Sebastian.
Yeah, I think he was a mythical 5.
Yes, he was.
And
I think he also won the MVP in his last year. I'm not sure. But he was, if there were already rankings during his time, he would be number 2 coming out of high school.
Behind who?
I'm trying to remember who. Kasi yun sa time niya. I think si Art eh.
Art de la Cruz?
Oh. Alam ko magkakapanahon yan. I'm gonna have to remember. My memory is not serving me right at this time.
Talaga? Yeah, I think he won an MVP. He was with the Staglets.
Yes.
Parang ano siya dun eh. One-man army siya dun eh.
One-man army indeed. He could score 30 or 40 easily every game. And alam mo naman kung gaano katindi yung NCAA juniors back in the day.
Kahit hanggang ngayon.
Actually.
Actually, mas malakas
mas matindi pa pala kayo.
Mas malakas yung mga player ngayon.
Hindi ko na rin alam kung ano kinakain ng mga bata ngayon.
Pareho lang din daw.
Corn na ba? Corn?
Oh, pero there's a lot more skills development programs for
sure.
Players nowadays.
Pero alam ko tayo, may kakainin din tayo mamaya, no?
Oh, courtesy of Coach Mike.
Coach Mike, happy birthday again.
Courtesy, pangatlo na yan, Pag hindi niya pa narinig, ewan ko na lang.
JP Kawilan scoring underneath. This is now a 21-point lead para sa Zamboanga Sikat, 44-23. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
The defense extended here for Zamboanga.
Sumido, he's going left. And he draws a foul against James Una.
I thought that was a clean block there. I really thought it was a clean block.
Coach Bong Ramos trying to argue there with referee Seb Pingol, but unfortunately, our game official will not oblige. Sumido will still take 2 shots here. There you see his numbers, 15.3 points, almost 3 rebounds, 69.2% free throw shooter this season. Ito si JR Sumido.
And sometimes there are decisions for JR Sumido to make. And last year he made that decision because he was with Imos where he was scoring big numbers, but they were losing. Here in Bulacan, and he moved to Valenzuela, he wasn't scoring well, but they did make a push for the playoffs that they fell short. Ngayon, meron ulit siyang, maganda ulit yung mga numero niya. Pero, they're not winning.
Yun nga yung naging trend sa career niya, which it's kind of sad considering the talent that he has.
Abdul Sawat.
That's a nice finish. Abdul Sawat, I think this guy has a chance to be really one of the top wing players here in the league.
I think this season could be big para sa kanya because he's sort of, used that late season surge ng Quezon City, is coming more confident this season.
Yeah.
There's a certain swagger right now with him.
I agree. You see it in the look on his face during games, the body language as James Una scores inside 25 seconds left here in the second quarter. I think nakapag-adjust na siya from last season.
Yeah, and that was poor though from Bulacan. James Una was the one who provided the pick. Siya pa nakuha ng offensive rebound.
De Leon puts the ball on the deck. A little Pinoy step, but that's one too many. Galing kay RR De Leon. And I'm not sure why he can't believe it, but it was very obvious. 24 na ang lamang dito ng Zamboanga. Just when we thought that Bulacan was gonna try to keep in step despite the many three-pointers that Zamboanga has had here in this game. 6 seconds left. Abdul Sawat with the basketball. Sawat will take the three-pointer for himself. That's off to the left. And that, ladies and gentlemen, does it for the first half of play between Zamboanga and Bulacan.
And solid start for Zamboanga. And this is what you like about the team right now. Taking care of business really in the first half. Regardless of the opponent, Michael Ari had 9 points and 3 assists.
And he's the one who started it all para sa Zamboanga.
Ang ganda ng pasahan dito ng Zamboanga. Siyempre, maganda ang shooting nila. 9 threes in that first half.
9 threes, 17 assists as opposed to just 6 for the Bulacan Kuyas. 48-24 at the end of the first half.
Lagi mong sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao, 50 tayo. Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 50 si Manny Pacquiao. Para sa 100% Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo. 50 si MB. Kahati mo, si Manny.
Para sa atlitang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Welcome back to the MPBL. My name is Sydney Crespo at kayo po ay nanonood ng aming game number 1 between Bulacan at Zamboanga. At para sa ating halftime interviews, kasama ko si Assistant Coach JC Burgos ng Bulacan Kuyas. Coach, thank you so much for joining me here. Coach, nakwento sa akin na marami na tayong binabago sa practices, sa preparations para ma-address itong current standing natin na 0-4. Pwede mo bang i-share sa ating mga kaliga kung paano natin babaguhin ito?
Pinaka-adjustment lang namin is yung intensity pagdating sa practice. Kailangan mas pukpukan kasi very hungry mga ibang teams and bagong team rin kami so ang daming adjustment na like yung chemistry namin, kailangan naming ayusin and yun lang, yung intensity and more extra work pagkatapos nung training namin.
Alright, ngayon Coach JC, aabangan rin namin ang intensity ninyo in the second half. May mga babatiin ka ba o pasasalamatan?
Yung sponsors lang namin, Nickelham, Lourdes College Valenzuela, Evertrust, Miko Nangapo, Sportswear, Kevin Modular, Grassroots PH Training and Development, Elite Hoopers, Cap John Michael Ahero and family, Boss Jericho Ahero, Kagawad Enrico of District 4 for the food, Sandy Nobles, Jenna Vinida, and of course, our family.
Thank you so much, Coach JC, for joining me here at The Half. Mga kaligaw, huwag kayong aalis, magbabalik ang MPBL.
ball game, but all of a sudden, Zamboanga finally finding their groove, especially from beyond the arc. And it was all about ball movement para dito sa Zamboanga because they issued 17 assists as a team. Ang maganda dito is that they were, finding the open man. But the problem also that was more glaring was the lack of defense on the part of Bulacan. It's, when you give up 47% shooting and you're trailing by 24 at the half, it only means that, you have not done your job defensively. 14 turnovers as well for Bulacan and not helping their cause. And, they got a mountain to climb in the second half. And really right now, again, we spoke about pride at the top of the coverage. And I think it's the same story in the next 20 minutes if you're Bulacan.
That's right. And, these guys are De Leon, J.R. Sumido, Art Aquino, Marlo Espiritu leading the scoring for Bulacan after the first half. They have a really tough job coming into the second half if they want to make things more competitive in the third and fourth quarter. Zamboanga is led by Michael Ari, who has 3 threes. JP Kawilan has 2 threes. Jason Credo with 2 threes as well. James Una rounding out the top scorers for the CCAT with 5 points. And there you see Coach Bong Ramos and Coach Egay Macaraya. This coaching duo coming in over from the Quezon City franchise now to Zamboanga this season, practically with almost the same core. But now they have veteran leadership in James Sena and Roy Sumang. 48-24 to start. Gino Jumao starting the second half for Bulacan with J.R. Sumido, Joseph Celso, R.R. De Leon, and Marlo Espiritu. Sumido sneaks one inside. That's a good start for Bulacan. But again, defense is the problem para sa kanila.
Can they come up with a string of stops here? 8 points para kay Sumido.
Turco, Sumang, Altamirano, Una, and Credo are the starters here in the second half for the CCAT. Nice reverse there para naman kay Ichi Altamirano.
Help there on the part of Humao as he was beaten to the baseline on that drive from Altamirano, and easy too para kay Ichi Altamirano.
Ang nangyayari kasi dito si Delph, napapansin ko, after the first man is beat, wala nang help na dumadating.
Wala na.
Hinahayaan na lang talaga eh.
Kailangan nila magtulungan dito. If you're, even that, nobody boxing out James Una.
Ichi Altamirano even had an open look there for that 3-point shot.
And this is the sad thing about Bulacan. It's all about, the habits. It's, and, the small details na kailangan nilang gawin on the other side of the floor.
And you would understand that if these guys were all newbies here in the league. But a lot of these guys have been in the league for quite some time, including that guy, Gino Jamawas.
A reprieve for Gino Jamawas, but he's smiling, but...
that's not supposed to be the case. When you're down this big, you shouldn't be smiling at all.
Eh, sabi nila, enjoy the game daw, Javi.
That's very different. You enjoy the game, but also you try your best to play it competitively. And when you make sure that your team is always in it to try and win it. Roy Sumang knocking down a 3-point shot, and R.R. De Leon making a heave there from the opposite baseline, trying to go quickly to J.R. Sumido.
And I want to tell R.R. De Leon, there are no shortcuts to success here in the MPBL.
Indeed.
Because you just gave up a 3 here, a wide open 3-pointer, a big breakdown defensively, and then you throw the ball away.
This is not your usual morning runs in the village. You really have to make sure that
parang yung team papawis nyo.
Mismo. Pero hindi naman, sobrang layo na namin doon. Yun talaga, for fun na lang talaga kami.
Kala ko, competitive yun. Kasi kinakain kayo ng buhay ni Juanito Gregorio.
Nako, hindi.
Nakikita ko eh. Sabi ko,
hindi kami...
Puro highlights ni Juanito nakikita ko sa, sa Instagram, Shout out, by the way, kay Boss Juanits.
Yes, sir. We miss him here in the panel.
Kita ko maganda yung may bigote.
Oo nga eh. Nagpatubo ng bigote bigla eh.
Magkasama kayo kagabi eh.
Yes, sir. He's doing fine for himself right now. But, you know, talk about colleagues in the panel. We again like to greet Coach Mike Perez a belated happy birthday.
Okay. So now that you've mentioned Coach Mike, I will just text him now.
Okay. It looks like it's not working.
It's not working.
Eh, baka busy ngayon sa Jollibee.
Coach, kanina ka pa binabati.
The score is 59-30 here in this game. And Bulacan doesn't seem like they're trying here in the second half as Zamboanga continues to put on a lot of shots, whether it's inside or outside. Roy Sumang now joining in on the scoring party here for the Zamboanga Sikat. Marte Hill free for 3. That's a good-looking shot. 3-point shot. A rare miscue defensively for Zamboanga to the dismay of Coach Bong Ramos.
Oh, hindi natuwa si Coach Bong dun. It took an easy swing to the other side.
Credo hops into the lane. That's a travel. Really a tricky move to try and master that hop step before you gather.
Okay, something positive here for Bulacan. But made basket and a stop. Tingnan natin kung makakapitalize sila dito.
Espiritu onto RR De Leon. Guarded here by James Una. Artaquino made a good account of himself when he checked in the first half. De Leon heavily challenged on that shot. Poor decision right there for Bulacan. And he's arguing that there should have been a foul.
He had 8 seconds in the shot clock.
He still could have made one extra pass, maybe 2. We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Another easy basket inside for Paul Turco. He has 4 points in this game. And the Bulacan Kuyas will take a timeout here. They're now down 61-32.
Bulacan just dragging their legs here in the third quarter. We still have a full quarter and a half to go. And it seemed like Bulacan no longer in it.
Zamboanga now in pace to score more than 100 in this game with the way things are looking right now. We'll take a short break.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Mapapanood nyo ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino on our Facebook and YouTube channels as well as on Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays beginning at 6 o'clock p.m. Later on, we have the Mindoro Tamaraws facing the San Juan Knights. That's going to be at 6 o'clock p.m. and live on Solar Sports. At 8 o'clock p.m., the Binyanta Takzel will be hosting the Iligan Isabela Cowboys. That's going to be a great matchup between two contenders in the north and the south. De Leon out to Keno Sicos. He loves that mid-range jumper.
Keno Sicos continues to play his role here for Bulacan. And what I like about Ken is just keeps on playing. You know, alam natin yung kagustuhan ni Ken na makakuha din ng panalo dito from Mindoro, now Bulacan.
Oh, he's just happy to be here. Talking about Keno Sicos. Engineer by day, player by night. Marte Hill hands it off. Pressure in the right side. Osicos now with it. De Leon.
Okay, I have breaking news, Javi.
Okay.
Alam na ni Coach Mike.
Okay.
Dadadaw siya.
Coach Mike, we look forward to your presence here later on at the Lotte Sports Arena. Eh, di rin naman masasayang yung punta mo dito kasi maganda rin naman ang mga games natin mamaya.
Tama.
Sumang fakes a pass out to James Una.
I thought Roy had a shot there pero masyadong maaga pa sa shot clock eh.
Altamirano.
Ayan, hindi talaga ayaw sa tira yan.
And he will not shy away from shots. Ito si Ichi Altamirano. Mamba mentality yan eh. Kita mo naman sa jersey number pa lang na suot niya eh. RR De Leon looks inside. That's a terrible pass that was intended for Marta Hill. Artaquino now has it, backing down. De Leon, one dribble, pull up, that's short. Speeding to their front court is Roy Sumang, hanging, missing. Turco couldn't get the put back. And James Una was able to keep it alive. Ended up with Paul Turco still.
Well, 3 players back, only for Bulacan, trying to stop that fast break. Pero just aggressive itong Zamboanga and, you know, making a conscious effort na suportahan si Roy Sumang on that fast break.
I think a lot of these young guys are really relishing the opportunity to be able to play with a veteran like like Roy Sumang. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Let's go courtside to Miss Sydney Crespo.
As Zamboanga hopes to see more growth in this young group, paalala ng coaches sa players kanina that there's no excuse now not to share the ball, especially to an open guy. Nagustuhan ni Coach Bong ang nakita niya sa first half ng Zamboanga. Sabi niya, buti na lang maganda ang touches namin ngayon, maganda ang gising. But he also thinks that their defense in the first half is positively influencing their offense. Earlier, I mentioned the expectations of the coaches during crunch time, so let's see how they close this one out. Javi Sidel?
Maraming salamat, Sid. Well, you know, if you guys just tuned in, itong Zamboanga, they lost their last game to the Imus Brotherhood in heartbreaking fashion. That was a game that was practically a one game para sa kanila. But they crumbled in the fourth quarter, and at the very last moment, the Brotherhood was able to sneak in a victory.
Look at the ball movement from Zamboanga there.
And Kalisay just got blocked there, but they get it back here, and there's another opportunity for Zamboanga. They go back to Kalisay, this time inside, but he couldn't hit from close range.
I thought he had Turco there wide open. Nonetheless, I like how Zamboanga is sharing this basketball. Everyone touching the basketball and try to find the mismatch there.
Hindi tumatagal ng more than 3 seconds sa isang tao yung bola.
Kaya sarap maglaro dito for Zamboanga right now. You know, the way that this ball is moving around and swung from side to side. But tama si Coach Bong eh. It's been their defense that's fueling their offense. Kanina nung ginanahan silang dumipensa and they were getting consecutive stops, that's when they started finding their groove offensively.
Well, that's always been the coaching style of Coach Bong Ramos ever since, be it in the PBA or in the collegiate level. Defense has always been something that he has put a heavy premium on. 10 seconds on the shot clock here for the Sikat. Galemit, that's a dangerous pass picked up by R. De Leon. Marte Hill is ahead of the pack. That's going to be an easy 2 points para kay Marte Hill.
Rare fast break for Bulacan.
Only the 9th fast break point of the Cuyas in this game compared to 18 for Zamboanga. Kalisay way off on that shot. Edsel Rojas couldn't get the 2 points. Hill forward to Sumido. Sumido goes left to nobody. Surprise, and he gets the 2 points.
Well, J.R. Sumido, count on him to get a bucket. Especially in transition, just knows how to finish. That time finishing from the right to the left, off the glass and in.
10 points in the game para kay J.R. Sumido. Sena to the other side. Galemit for 3. It's a 3-point shot once again para sa Zamboanga. This time it's Galemit.
Well, isang tao lang yung gusto nilang maka-shoot dito. Si Galemit lang yata. Hinihintay nila na maka-shoot.
Homegrown para sa Zamboanga. Those are his first points of the season, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Welcome to the MPBL, Mr. Galemit. Take a look at this play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. J.R. Sumido breaking into double figures with that finish in transition.
J.R. Sumido. You know, his reputation here as a scorer, no question.
Indeed.
It is MPBL.
Just like his team, his defense just really the one that's been suspect as James Sena knocks it down near the free throw line.
One of my favorite players when he was in college. Ito si James Sena. Ano pa yan dati? Banger pa yan.
Ay, banger talaga yan. Ngayon ba hindi na masyado?
Hindi na masyado eh. Ano na siya eh. Relies on his perimeter shooting na ngayon eh.
Yeah, actually, I also did notice that. Hindi ko na siya nakikita masyadong pumoposte, no?
Yeah, he's slimmed down as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Mahilig mag-bike to eh, si James Sena.
Marami tayong bikers dito sa MPBL na mga player. Eh.
Oo.
Kawilan.
Sa panel, wala.
Sa panel, wala. Walang oras eh. Marte Hill gets it off the glass.
Oo, lalo na ikaw. Wala kang oras.
Wala talaga.
May gimmick sa gabi. Tapos
Mahirap.
tutulog muna sa umaga. Tapos tatabaho sa hapon.
Nahiya na nga ako sa lolo ko eh. Binigyan pa ako ng bike for my birthday last year.
Talaga?
Oo. Hindi ko ginagamit.
Sabi kay Lolo, kilalanin mo naman ang apo mo.
Hindi, hiningi ko yun sa kanya eh. Kala ko magagamit ko eh. Niloko ko lang pala sa
Oo. Sana stationary bike na naging hiningi.
Ayun na nga eh. Mali.
Para pwede mong madala sa 225 habang nagpapahinga ka, di ba? Habang nag-enjoy mga kaibigan. Oh, bike muna ako, ha?
Few seconds left here in the third quarter. Marte Hill draws a foul there. That's a foul to give para sa Zamboanga. That's only their first team foul here in the third quarter.
Well, the things you talk about in a 30-point game with 6.5 seconds remaining in the third.
That's why, you know...
Alam mo sino pang nagbabike?
Sino?
Si Tik, I think, nagbabike din.
Oh, si Tik nagbabike.
Oh, mahilig magbike.
Minsan, pagmalapit lang yung venue natin, nagbabike to work yan eh. Kumari, mga Paco lang, ganyan, or Rizal. Galemit couldn't get another three-pointer there. Tried to heave it from near the half-court line. And he got his first points of the season in this quarter.
Well, same story. First to third quarters, and if you are Zamboanga, you gotta like what you're seeing because the team is, in the groove at the moment. But it's also down to how Bulacan is playing against them right now.
These are the highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration. Zamboanga once again reaching 20 points here in the third quarter, just like in the first two periods. In Bulacan, no different here in this period. They're down by 30 points. Fourth quarter of action sa aming pagbabalik. Check out our fan of the game brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Ay, ba't ako nag-high? Sa TV pala yan.
Oo.
Hindi, pag hindi
I
talaga,
think mga Sanman fans.
ako talaga pag hindi ako nag-play anchor, parang nag-iiba din yung character ko eh. And especially after that harrowing experience with Christian Luanzo last night.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, for someone that has to go through that, I'm pretty sure that's a new experience for you. Quarter scoring on your screens. I did say Zamboanga breaching the 20-point barrier once again in that third quarter.
Well, they need 30 to get to 100 here para dito sa Zamboanga.
Let's see how they do here. They've slowed down on their three-point shots, but the other parts of their offense have been booming still.
I can't believe it. That was a difficult shot there from our De Leon. He could have swung that ball.
Exactly. That's a miss from Zamboanga. De Leon has made some really questionable decisions here in this game for the Kuyas. And you expect more from him considering he's the leading scorer para sa kanila in 4 games this season.
You know what I just don't see again for Bulacan here? I just don't see the intensity.
Exactly. They're just going through the motions. It's just like you're going to work, but you don't like what you're doing. You don't see the passion in them.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, that's just what I see.
Oh my God. Well, Javi, I like going to work.
I do love going to work. I'm very happy to have this job. I'm still very happy.
Si Sydney din daw.
Oh naman.
Si Sydney din daw.
Despite all these
Guys,
years, I'm sure ikaw din.
Dinaanan ko pa sa BGC yan.
We're very happy to have everybody in the panel.
Oo naman.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, boss, for the continued trust.
Alam mo, mas happy tayo pag duman si Coach Mike mamaya.
Yan na nga.
Yun ang talaga yung punot dulo nitong usapan na to eh.
Ang tanong, ano kaya ipapadala niya? Or anong dadalhin niya pala? Kawilan, a 3 on the way. Nope. Espiritu able to tap it to R. De Leon. Oh, look at J.R. Sumido here. Michael Ara giving chase and still able to make a stop.
And that's the kind of effort that you want and expect from Bulacan, especially if you're down 28.
Yes.
You know, Michael Ara could have let that one go.
Correct.
You know, itong si J.R. Sumido, he could have gotten the easy two if you want, you know, kung gusto ni Michael Ara, pabayaan na yun. But no, ayaw niya because, you know, Coach Bong Ramos and Coach Egay for sure will call him out if hindi niya hinabol yun.
Yeah, for them, for Coach Bong and Coach Egay, who have been in the business for so long, they demand excellence at every point of the game, whether you're up 30 or you're down 30. You have to play your best all throughout. Sumido on the right flank. Doesn't use the screen. Sumido charges into JP Kawilan. Basket counts para kay JR Sumido.
I like the fight shown by J.R. Sumido. More of that, please, J.R. Because your team down big at the moment and just a very determined drive to the cup, absorbing the contact and finishing off the glass.
And that's against the tall defender, JP Kawilan. Managing to get him out of the way there. 12 points in the game, 5 rebounds para kay JR Sumido. Make that 13 in the match for the former Valenzuela player. Michael Are setting up the table here para sa Zamboanga. Ganda rin ang storya nito ni Michael Are. You know, playing behind the shadows of his brother but has managed to make a name for himself here in this league as Jason Credo scores.
Well, Paeng was set to join them, right?
Yeah.
Until the
very last moment.
Change of heart to play for San Sebastian this season. Because right now, you know, if you're wondering, if everyone's wondering why we don't have current active NCAA players in the lineups of the teams, it's because the league no longer, the NCAA no longer honors the special guest license.
Yes.
Unlike before.
Yeah. JP Kawilan scoring once again there para sa Zamboanga.
Dati kasi pwede, no? Like if you're serving a residency.
Especially if you're serving a residency.
Oo, nakita natin last year, Patrick Sleet, Mark Omega.
And even for the time, we did have Clint Escamis.
Yes, and JC Recto.
Of course, after their stint with the Abra Weavers, they went on to win the championship in the NCAA, the first championship for Mapua in a while.
Actually, season 4 and season 5. No, yun yung time na 4, 5, 6 actually.
Yeah. Maraming mga active college players sa mga roster ng mga teams natin. Sumido driving right, finishing left. Couldn't finish. Choi Ignacio is back in the game. Michael Are stops and pops. He has been a sharp shooter in this game. That's way off the mark. Roy Sumang and John Edsel Ross checking back into the game. Our assist of the game here brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Unselfish play there from Michael Are. Already has 3 3-pointers under his belt, pero binigay niya pa rin kay JP Kawilan para matuwa naman si JP.
Everybody really just having a share of the wealth here para sa Zamboanga sa laro na to. 74-45. Up next, we have the Mindoro Tamaraos going up against the San Juan Knights.
Now, Chino Mosqueda has not played in this game, by the way, the captain of Zamboanga.
Yeah.
And Luciano is the only player fielded in that has not scored. So JC Luciano, inaantay natin kung pasok siya sa scoring column because everyone else has scored.
There's still 5 minutes remaining here in this game. Ignacio, the hometown hero in Zamboanga, gets it to James Sena, who attempts a 3-point shot. Wala, Credo. Another offensive
Look,
rebound
everyone
for the
everyone
Sican.
just standing.
Yeah.
Everyone just standing from Bulacan. I don't know what they're doing.
James
Are they
Sena.
waiting? Are they waiting to get the ball back from a made basket? Because they don't have any intention of getting that rebound.
It doesn't even look like a scrimmage, to say the least. It just looks like Zamboanga's having a shooting drill on the floor.
My goodness.
Bulacan, who was nursing 2 fouls early in this game, had to come out in the first quarter. Jumauas had to hurry a shot. Wow. That's a shot for a horse game.
You get a few really nice games and you get a Bulacan game once in a while.
That's sadly what's been part of what has been entirely, save for this, really incredible season so far.
Oh, James Sena!
2 3-point shots back-to-back para sa kanya.
Veterano.
Is he still your favorite player?
Extending his range. Now that he's extending his range, gusto ko maging shooter.
Jumauas couldn't follow up that miraculous shot earlier. Rojas will finish comfortably.
I felt for him during that championship series against San Beda many years ago, 15, 16 years ago, because he had to defend Sam Ekwe.
Oh yeah. Konti lang naman silang big man dun pa naman.
Oo.
Again, Zamboanga pushing the pace here and no resistance being shown by Bulacan on the break. Edsel Rojas scoring a new 82-50, 3 minutes and 37 to go in this game.
Sa atlitang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Commissioner Kenneth Remdes in attendance here at the Elontes Sports Arena in Binyan, our venue for our Thursday triple header dito sa Maharlika, Pilipinas Basketball League.
Our very hardworking commissioner, also the nominee of the MPBL party list.
Yes, sir.
Captain Marbel.
Serrano knocks it down from the left corner.
Minsan nadadaan ako, nasa-scroll ko sa Facebook, lumalabas yung highlights ni Com.
Ako rin.
Grabe.
I still can't believe it, you know. Iba pa rin yung highlights during the day, no?
Oo,
mas high-flying eh.
Iba. And to think na iba yung fitness regimen.
Kaya nga eh, doon ako nawawildan talaga eh.
Oo.
Kasi mas athletic rin naman yung mga players in this day.
And sila, a lot of them, the way they played, effortless.
Exactly.
Parang the game came naturally for them dun sa mga panahon na yun.
They were hoopers.
Kaya nga.
Jonix Rosales there, able to get the hoop and the harm. Yung high-flying acts nilang sarap panoorin eh. The way that they glide through the air. Si Com, sila Nelson Asaytono.
Vergel Meneses.
Vergel Meneses, yes.
Siyempre. Samboy Lim, siyempre, the late Samboy Lim.
Well, I think that maybe Mayor Vergel could provide some inspiration to these kuyas. He is a mayor in Bulacan, right?
Yeah, Bulacan.
Roy Sumang scoring again there para sa Zamboanga. Sumang now in double figures with 11, also with 5 assists and a couple of rebounds. 2 minutes and change remaining here in this game. Jeb Bulawan fades away. That shot is short. Sumang has Kawilan ahead of him, but Sumang will take it for himself. Stopped there by the defense of Pablo Lucas.
What a name.
Pablo Lucas, the third pa. Homegrown for the Cuyas. Our assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And here's the thing, if you're Bulacan now, you know, there's one, you know, the X and O's are one thing, but effort is a different aspect altogether.
Yeah, I think for
And,
me...
and then it's, they're failing in both of those aspects.
Exactly. For me, before they get into the X's and O's, they really have to address the effort issue moving forward.
Effort issue.
More than anything,
Oh.
Yun muna. Serrano with the basketball here. Lucas on the right side.
Mas worried ako na hindi sila masyadong pinagpapawisan, Javi.
Exactly.
Diba?
Di naman malamig dito sa venue. Maintindihan ko pa sana kung sobrang lakas ng aircon eh. Hindi naman. 89-54. Another big margin that Bulacan is staring at.
But you know, this is the 5th game of a 29-game season.
Definitely still a lot of time to turn things around.
So we hope this is just a rough patch for Bulacan and they will come out more aggressive and more competitive in the future games.
I certainly am still very optimistic that they will heed our call. Roy Sumang converts at the line. 92-54, 8 points away from reaching the century mark are the Zamboanga Sikat. Remember, they came into this fourth quarter with 70 points. Turco gets the rebound there. Sumang is pushing. I think he knows that there are still a few points left to get to 100. Turco gets the putback there. 94-54, 6 points left. Choi Ignacio gets the steal. JC Luciano, the only guy to not score in this game for Zamboanga, gives up a pass. Choi Ignacio for 3. Yes, sir! 97-54, 3 points away.
Ang maganda doon for Choi Ignacio, it came off a steal na siyang nakakuha, no?
Yes.
Ganda ng depensa niya.
Lucas gets a side step to go to get that 2 points.
Let's see if they go for 100 here.
I think they're gonna try here. JC Luciano. Oh, goes up, strong, no. Turco with a putback, that's a miss. Luciano still has time. Luciano will decide to go inside against the defense of Osicos and Bulao. The reverse is good. Everybody now has scored para sa Zamboanga in this game. 99-56.
I can't believe Luciano just scored against 2 white shirts. That easy.
2 white shirts who are taller than him.
Yeah, head scratching moment there again. Many of them in this ball game.
And that's gonna do it. It's the bleeding stops for the Bulacan Cuyas as the buzzer sounds. Another big loss para sa kanila. Zamboanga bouncing back from a heartbreaker of a defeat to the Imus Brotherhood last week at the Quezon Convention Center.
They got to get their acts together.
Congratulations after the heartbreaking loss last game. No? Ganda ng bawi ng Zamboanga dito mula sa defense, 3-point shooting at syempre yung effort ninyo hanggang dulo.
Yun nga kasi talo kami sa last game namin. Kailangan namin bumawi kasi panalo na kami, natalo pa kami. So sobrang sakit sa amin yun. So, sabi ni Coach, bawi lang kami. Then yun.
Ngayon, Michael, Zamboanga is back in the winning column but still a long way to go. As a young team, ano pa ang gusto ninyong i-improve para sa upcoming games?
Kailangan lang namin